decade, the program offers you that unrestricted. All right, welcome back, and the program continues. With just a few more minutes to go now, and then we'll go to Italy. But before we go, let me bring in my guest, who he's been waiting all along while we were just enjoying ourselves, talking about doing business in Nigeria, the challenges, the prospect, the opportunities, and what you need to do if you're here in the United Kingdom and looking to go and do business in Nigeria. I've got Femi. Femi Oke. Femi Oke is a political analyst who also goes to Nigeria very often to advise on doing businesses and also helping out in that area. Femi, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Yes, yeah,
Femi, from your experience, you've been to Nigeria a couple of times. You've gone to Nigeria to help advise and execute projects. You are also in the housing sector here in the United Kingdom. What do you want to compare your experience? He said, let's just forget about Jonathan, that let's move on. Moving on, 2017.
yes.
What is it like doing business in Nigeria if you're coming in from the UK?
It's very challenging. I think there's a lot of red tape, a lot of corruption. The government has touted that we've moved up 24 paces in terms of the ease of doing business. But the reality on the ground is that there's no change. And states in Nigeria are struggling with IGR in terms of having money to pay the salaries and whatnot. And you wonder why they're not really more vigorously engaging the diaspora to invest in their home. Now, the thing is, they give a lot of lip service to this thing, and they will tell you that lots of people are investing, lots of things, but you can't really see this thing on the ground. And the people over here feel they're not engaged, so they need real direct access. And not just the diaspora, even people in Nigeria. If you want to get land, say, for agriculture in Nigeria, there's a procedure. But the procedure is very tedious and time-consuming. And at the end of the day, people come today, come tomorrow, so they don't pursue it. And at the end of the day, they say they want to encourage agriculture. How many hectares, thousands of hectares of land are laying fallow? How many unemployed people, hundreds of thousands unemployed, who could, if were given allocation to these lands, could do something about it? Those with money that can even do something about it, you can't even get the land from, they can't get access to the land. Talk about housing, talk about education. Government can't do everything. Government wants to do everything, but they lack the financial capacity to do so. And they need to, empower the private sector to be able to take control. But it seems that a lot of these things, a lot of the government people, they don't want to take their hands off of these things. They want to control everything, but yet they lack the capacity to do so. And so the lack of full engagement of the private sector, the lip service paid to ease of doing business, is what is stifling the growth of business and the economy of Nigeria. And so, you go to Nigeria, you meet commissioners, you meet people, and you give them ideas, and invariably they'll say, oh, we don't do things like that, that policy won't work. So you ask yourselves, well, what you're doing now isn't working. Why don't you try a pilot scheme to see if this project will work? But they just seem to be not engaging and not wanting to change the status quo. And so then it really needs to be a radical change in Nigeria, to be quite frank. If there isn't a radical change in leadership, both at the state government level, the federal level, and even the local government level, our local governments are non-entities, to be quite frank. And if you come back here to the UK, as my colleague here is saying, if you want to do anything with planning, it's the local government that deals with that. Not the parliament that deals with it. It's the local government. The local government is more closer to the people and understands the needs of the people. So they should really be engaged in the planning and matters, But what happens in Nigeria, everything's done at the state level. And then the states now don't have enough surveyors to go around and do building control, let alone do planning. And so that means that, do you know how many planning applications go through in the UK in a local authority every single day, every week, in the thousands? What's happening in the state level? They don't have the resources to cope with it. And instead of them to engage private sector surveyors to come on board or, expand the net to help them, they want to keep everything within themselves. And that is what's stifling growth in Nigeria. Everything is like in an old school, old boy network. Everything's in a club. If you're not part of the club, you can't get access. And that's what's stopping Nigeria. They need to open up that club.
Moving on from here, opening up the club and the ease of doing business in Nigeria. Do people like you who are already established in Nigeria, who are doing business in different sectors, engage the government, and how receptive is the government?
Well, I do engage the government in Nigeria on a one-on-one basis. So many times with Fashola, so many times with the government in Lagos, so many times with a number of ministers in Abuja. But like he said, their agenda is not your agenda. Their mindset is not your mindset. You need a radical approach in dealing with most of this. The biggest question that everybody always says is that, can one man do it? If Buhari in Abuja is trying to do something, the people in the state, in the local government are doing something else. You are facing a different direction. But don't let us all forget, we have Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore. He was one man, but everybody followed his vision. The nation is different today. We have Rollins, which is the one that I actually want for Nigeria, because democracy will not get us that 100% change we need. But unfortunately, it is not the way of the Christian. I don't believe in that bloody intervention.
It does seem the world has actually moved away from revolution.
Yeah.
If there's any revolution in any country, that country is probably going to be ostracized by the entire global community. So beyond that, I'm sorry, Femi, what change could we anticipate?
Well, it still comes back to the same thing: leadership, and more leadership.
But one would have thought this leadership was the change people were expecting.
Okay, let me give you my current mathematical calculation in Nigeria at the moment. This calculation says APC and PDP is the same. How do you get to that? If you take APC and you add Buhari, you understand me? That is the difference between them from PDP. So whatever calculation you do, if you take PDP, add Buhari, is equal to APC. So this is the almighty equation in Nigeria that has not been solved because Buhari is in the middle. Buhari is the difference between APC and PDP in Nigeria today. Period. If you move Buhari to PDP tomorrow, that party will become APC. So therefore, if we are fighting whatever we are fighting, it's a one-man show. But the remaining people in APC today are not following that bandwagon. They're holding Baba down. Like what I said, the Abiola statement I had in the 90s was, somebody is running and yet looking back. All of these people in current APC are drawing Baba back to look back. He won't get to the destination.
Femi,
My view...
moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward, but we have to look back to move forward. Is, you know, before the last election, I was here and we discussed, and I said that Buhari was the best of the worst world, because, to be honest with you, we needed a more younger, vibrant leader. And I knew that once he wins, it's unlikely to have the energy to be able to serve the nation well. And we've been proved right. So we've got the people are calling him Baba Go Slow right now, because, and I don't mean it in a derogatory way, and I understand obviously he's got health issues, and obviously we can't put the whole burden of the nation on him, but if you want to become the president of a nation, any nation, let alone...
As huge as Nigeria.
And the most volatile nation like Nigeria with so much complexities, it's not for the faint-hearted. You know, it's a place where you may have to die as a leader. So you've got to put in 120% every single day. So, and decisions need to be made immediately. Unfortunately, you know, you've had the situation with the investigation of the SGF and the other guy for DSA, and we still, that thing has gone on and on and on and on and on. If not for the minor situation, we wouldn't have had those people being sacked. So again, it's not even necessary just to be sacked. They should also be put under investigation, even arrested. Look at what happened in America. They had their FBI investigation into the so-called Russian gate or whatever, influence or whatever, and the guy 2 or 3 of them already under indictment now.
President's guy.
Yeah, they're under indictment now. They're under arrest and they've been, being charged. And you can see that things are moving forward. And so we understand, why is that not happening in Nigeria? So revolution is not going to, we need a revolution, not in the sense of a violent revolution, but a revolution of the people understanding that we complain that it's bad leadership that is curtailing the growth of our nation. But bad leadership has followership. And if the followership are not making a difference, they need to stand up. The people of Nigeria need to stand up en masse in every state and say, you know what, we can't have this anymore. Something has to change.
In the face of poverty, can the people stand up? We have a system that deliberately keeps the people very poor. And somebody comes around 2019, gives the people 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira. Will the people be able to stand up in the face of this extreme poverty?
Well, I think it's moving gradually. In those days, you can buy all the votes into your pocket. People are getting clever now in Nigeria. They will still take the money, but you won't get that vote. It's moving gradually. But you see, there is a political class in Nigeria. It's a deliberate ploy. We must not let these people get wise, because if they get wise or wiser, they will not vote for me. So, whatever they need, you keep it back and you wait until that election is coming, and then you come up with the stomach infrastructure scenario. Let's give them something. Let's give them the social intervention program. Let's feed their children in school. But then that is not what they actually need. Poverty in Nigeria, the way it works is to give more powers to the elites. And until that is dealt with, the way we do it here, all our politicians in Nigeria knows what is going on here, knows what is going on in America. But they will tell you, sorry, we don't do it this way. One of the favorite motivator in my life is Sir Richard Branson. When you sit down with Sir Richard Branson and he tells you of his Agbada visit to Nigeria, when he wanted to take over Virgin Nigeria, he went in an Agbada. And the conversation was, Oga, if you want anything done here, you should know what we do. And he got up, he left. The company today, we know what happened to it. Collapse. Anybody been punished for that in Nigeria? No. But unfortunately, like you said, the population, the masses, the 99% needs to rise up, take control of this situation. But unfortunately, the setup we have in Nigeria, most of them are not interested. All they just want is their daily food. You give them their daily food. Nobody wants to die for Nigeria, like you said. Will I die for Nigeria?
I think there are people that are ready to die for Nigeria, and I don't think that there aren't any. And there are some good people and young people and new people coming up. I think the issue is now that there's a lot of clamoring for restructuring, for example. Now, it is beholden upon the voters now to say, look, even at the primary level or whatever level, you need to find out if it's a senator or House of Rep person, how did you vote when it came to restructuring and the amendment of the Constitution? Were you one that voted against the amendments?
Are the Nigerian electorate that
yes, they are.
that intelligent to say, look,
engaging.
Or like in the US, you say, look, how did you vote when it came to the issue of Obamacare?
Well, look,
why Obamacare has not succeeded? It's because the electorate are saying, we will hold you accountable to how you voted on the Obamacare issue. And so
the thing is,
members of the House of Rep are afraid, the senators are afraid because they know the people are coming for them.
The thing is, we are doing a politics, we're supposed to be in a democracy, but we're not practicing it the way it ought to be. Yeah. So, for example, how many times do the senators and House of Reps do surgeries in their wards or their Senate districts? Do they actually conduct surgeries? They don't. So, are the people asking them, we want to see you? The only time they go there is when they go there to give them bags of rice or say we're giving them motorcycles, we're giving them machine to grind pepper or something like that. And then they disappear. But look at the chap in Kogi State. Didn't they try to, they've tried to, Dino Malaya, he's been recalled, but although the process is stalled, that is a start. So we need more people to be recalling their senators and the House of Rep people to say, look, you are not acting in our best interest and we don't want you anymore. So when things like that actually happen and they get removed, you will now see that others will sit up. So these things are just happening now. A lot of the citizens' education is not happening. So a lot of citizens don't even know what their rights are. They don't know what they can do and what they can't do. So this is a problem that needs to be addressed in terms of education of the polity.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of the program. But before I let you go this one, let me quickly ask you my last questions. I mean, you keep saying good news, but I don't know, what is the good news as an investor, an entrepreneur, from what we've painted? I've got, people want to move from this part of the world to that part of the world. But the environment, from the experience of people like you, doesn't seem to. You go with your business plan. They get government institution. They steal it. They say it can't work. They start running with it. You hire staff. They steal you dry. Things difficult to work. What is the good news for people watching this program this morning? Say, I'm tired of this school. I want to go back to Nigeria.
Well,
you did it well.
Yes.
What is the good news?
Like I keep on saying to you, we have a good news environment at the moment. There is an organization called the Nigerian Investors Promotion Council. You can go in there, look at what they're doing to support diaspora coming back to Nigeria in terms of funding, in terms of taxation, ease of doing business, in terms of registering your business. Now, what I am saying is, don't go in a rush. Go over a period of time, over a year, over 2 years. Don't abandon what you are doing in here just like that. Learn through it. It's a learning curve to relocate back to Nigeria. Now, the good news is what is at the focus of my good news is that leadership thinking is changing in Nigeria. You need to understand what that country is all about for you to be able to fit in. Your understanding, your business culture training in the UK will not work in Nigeria until you understand that, and then that business will be a success. Don't expect you will start making money from day one. So if it's going to take you 1 year to make money in the UK, in Nigeria, plan that it will take 2 years.
Really?
To make money.
Years?
No, to 10. You understand me? But the environment is getting better. In the ease of doing business index, one of the worst for Nigeria is access to power. Nigeria is rated almost 172. Access to electricity if you set up a business. So I want to set up a factory manufacturing. Please get your generator ready from the UK to come and power you in Nigeria. That is the reality. But the government is doing something positively. Fashola is working on it. I live in a part of Lagos. I don't want to mention where I live.
It's fine.
I know what you're going to say. We are having 12 hours electricity today. But at the same time, I've visited parts of the Yoruba nation. I visited some months ago a prayer mountain in a place called Awaye. They have not seen electricity for 1 week.
Is that Osun or your state?
It's Oyo State, Agelu Mountain. They have not seen electricity for weeks. Now, that is the dichotomy in both. So when you are going to Nigeria also now, part of the research you want to do is, where do they supply electricity more? That is where I want to be. Some people also, when they're relocating to Lagos now, you know where they want to go and live? Lekki. Because they believe that whatever they need is around them more, that compared to somebody living in Agege, in Moshi, or in Ikorodu. So those are some of the research you need to do. But compared to what we see pre-APC, the good news is coming. As we head towards the 2019 election, I have seen it over the years I've been in Nigeria. Once election is coming, things
Money
change.
will flow.
It's a Nigerian mentality.
Money will flow.
Yeah. Only last weekend, the federal government, including the vice president, announced that this year alone, before we get to this year, over $50 billion is coming to Nigeria. What will that do to our FX rates? So that is why I'm saying, good news is coming. I'm one of those who are also predicting, for those who are in real estate in Lagos, as we head through that election, is going up. Guarantee it's going to happen. If not, come and meet me. I will tell you why.
So if you got money to invest in real estate,
yes, in Lagos particularly. I don't know of Abuja. I don't know of Port Harcourt, but in Lagos, in some hotspot area, and also in some low spot area. But that is the trend I have seen. Check house prices just before election since 2006, sorry. It has been like that in Nigeria. And then after the election, money dries up, everybody runs away. But because it's a cash economy also, the bank, not like the UK bust and boom, it doesn't happen like that in Nigeria. What you just find is that cash will dry up. There'll be no business. And then sooner or later, cash will drop.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot. Femi, your last take on the program, just in the next 1 minute.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, I think moving on.
As we approach 2019.
Approaching 2019, there is hope. You know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But I think there may be yet another change that needs to happen. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I can't see PDP taking over, but APC needs to do some drastic change. And I think at the end of the day, for those over in the diaspora who want to invest in Nigeria, I'm challenging the government, the federal government, the state governments. I think they need to do more in terms of directing to the diaspora directly by coming over here in the UK and engaging them directly here, making life much easier for us to be able to make that transition. Like Suru said, you have to take a long time to think and work out and plan what you're going to do before you jump into the Nigerian thingy. But we need help, more help.
Can I also say one thing that I forgot?
1 minute.
The good news also for the diaspora is that there is this 100 million euros diaspora bond that the federal government has raised. Now, how that money
100 million
is euros that they raised for diaspora to support you people to come back to Nigeria. Now, how they are disbursing that money, I don't know. Don't ask me that question.
But the bond is there.
Go and contact Abike Dabiri. It is our baby. That is what she's doing. The whole idea is that if you want to come to Nigeria, you should be able to access some of those funds as single digits to support you in establishing businesses there. But don't go there thinking that you're going to start paying them 1 year. I always say to anybody, if you want to access any money to establish a business, tell them you want, if possible, 5 years moratorium. Let nobody come and collect any money in 5 years. And then you can work at it. You don't want any pressure from day one. So those are the good news. It has never been done before. There's never been, in fact, there is a diaspora program coming up in Lisbon on the 9th. I don't know whether you know about it, for real estate, people who want to invest in Nigeria real estate. So, positive. All
right, pleasure. Thanks a lot. The CEO, the chair and CEO of Suru Group, Edward Akinade, thank you for taking your time to join us on the program today, and thank you for your insightful comment on the show today. Femi Oke, thank you for being part of the program, and our condolences on the loss of your dad. We least expected you. You just barely lost your old man over the weekend and still took your time out. Pa Oke. He was
91.
91.
Wow.
91 years old. 91 years old. Condolences to the family.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, this is how far we're going to end. Let me quickly bring our Italian special correspondent for the next 5 minutes, and let's talk about immigration matters in Italy, and then we'll close the program. Don't go away.
as part of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in the United Kingdom with greater impacts and create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely green community in the United Kingdom, our channel, Ben TV, presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues